One Night in Miami shows a critical reflection on different aspects of black power and historic issues that remain as relevant as ever. The play, which was first seen in Los Angeles, makes its way to South Africa this month, part of the Black History Month offering. The story is about shared history and friendship between four iconic black men who went on to leave visible footprints on their chosen careers, featuring characters of Malcolm X, Sam Cooke and Jim Brown. While for more on the piece, we're joined by actors Lemogang, Tsipa and Seneliso, Dladla, as well as U.S. Embassy Cultural Affairs Officer Stephen Stock. Good evening, morning, gentlemen, rather.
Morning.
In my head, I'm thinking about the evening when I came to see One Night in Miami, which was on Wednesday, Valentine's Day. I want to give you a big congratulations on a stunning, stunning production.
Thank you,
I'll start with you.
Yes.
What an iconic production.
Yeah.
You know, to celebrate Black History Month. How were you a part of it, and what sort of connection do you have with the personal story?
For me, it was a bit of a tough one. I played the most iconic figure in the history of sports, which is a bit of it's big shoes to fill. But it was quite an interesting process. Muhammad Ali is quite a fun guy, and I sort of share a few things with him. I'm always joking as this man. Find out, like, I'm just always trying to mess with people, get into their heads and sort of understand and figure them out, and yeah, just try and enjoy life, I guess.
Okay. The director of the play was, I mean, the incredibly talented Babu James Ngobo. I mean, the choreography as well, just the spacing, the movement, watching it live was just so incredible. Gregory was the man responsible for that. What was that like for you as an artist, as a theatre artist, to be able to work with such great creatives?
Yeah, well, it's fantastic because especially as a younger performer, it's brilliant to get a space where we get to work with these sort of people, because it's not an opportunity that most people get. And especially, well, I've worked with Greg before in King Kong, and seeing what he does is incredible. And the way he thinks outside the box is well, there's no definition of what you can get from, like, because when you see him in a space and the way he transforms a space using your body is incredible, because most people aren't really comfortable in their own body, and the way he can make you move and make things come to life. And working with Jeff, of course, a legend is something else, because especially as a young person, we've just seen him on Stockfella, and you just idolize the man. And it's strange also when you work with people like that, because at the end of the day, you realize that they're just human beings, and they're normal people who just want to create art and give us younger people the opportunity to actually shine in this industry. So it's a beautiful thing to work with these two people.
Oh, fantastic, and shine you did. Steve, let me come to you. The U.S. Embassy's involvement in bringing One Night in Miami back to South Africa. What's the significance of that, bringing the production here in this country, a country that already has its rich history, a country that already has its own iconic people to celebrate? I want to talk about that.
You know, at the U.S. Embassy, what we're trying to do is draw those connections between America and between South Africa. One of the reasons that we looked at this particular play was right after Muhammad Ali passed about a year and a half ago. I had learned that he had been one of the biggest idols of Nelson Mandela's, which I think most South Africans obviously know that as well. So it's a real connection between our two countries right there. And I think a lot of times when you look at the shared history of our two countries, right, we both have had complicated racial histories that have had tension, but that also are changing and evolving and are finding new shapes. We can learn from one another. And so I thought that this play was an excellent opportunity to do that. And as you might have seen then on the Valentine's Day performance, and I hope that you got to bring a +1 and had a nice date that night, you know, you've got four different icons, and they all are attacking the injustice that they found in society in completely different ways. And so the guests who come and see the show are going to come and find a different way of mixing it up, a different way of changing the world. And
Stephen, through the embassy, how else are you guys engaging with South Africans, South African audiences, ordinary South Africans, just throughout the celebrations of Black History Month?
Well, this is our premiere piece. This is the diamond in the crown, I suppose. But we also have about 10 American corners throughout the country where we're going to have panel discussions with some of the alumni of our exchange programs. And so those exchange program participants have expertise in entrepreneurship, or it might be women who are working in science, technology, engineering, and maths fields. And so what we're trying to do then is to both share a little bit of that knowledge that they had gained and to build that connection between South Africans and Americans. And so sometimes it's going to be very specific to history and civil rights struggles in the United States, and those are some of the programs that we're doing for Black History Month.
All right, Lemogang, before I let you guys go, you know, playing one of the most iconic men in our history, and I'll say our history being young Black people. What was that like, putting yourself in the shoes of someone who had to fight so many inequalities, so many injustices, and how do you juxtapose that to your own life as a young Black man in the arts?
I think it was a very challenging thing, not only because of him being the person that he is, but the one depiction of it was also played by one of the biggest movie stars in the world, Will Smith, when he played Ali in the film. So for me, it was intimidating at first, but it's sort of one of those things where you realize that you've got an elephant in front of you and you have to take it one bite at a time to sort of try to tackle the issue. And then we sort of did it. But for me, I find that using whatever leverage that I developed from my career to try making a difference in things that I feel are important would be my sort of social responsibility. I'm not sure if I'll ever be as great as Ali in terms of having such an impact on the world.
You can be the Ali of theatre.
I hope so. I hope so. But it's still a big statement. I feel I still have a lot to learn before I get to that point.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for making the time to come to Morning Live. Really appreciate it. Now,
thank you.
one night in Miami, we staged in the John Kani at the Marco Theatre from the 2nd to the 25th of February, of course, to honor and pay tribute to Black History Month. Yes, big thank you to the actors Lemogang, Tsipa and Seneliso, Dladla, who just spoke to us about the roles that they play and how they obviously juxtapose their lives in the arts with the roles that and characters that they play in that theatre piece. Well, as well as U.S. Embassy Cultural Affairs Officer Stephen Stark for being here. Well.